We want to move on now to the latest installment of Cornell Tech at Bloomberg, a series of discussions with entrepreneurs. And the focus this month, the future of food, specifically how one company is using technological innovations to solve a large societal problem of feeding an increasingly urban population in a sustainable way. I asked Irving Fain, co-founder and CEO of Bowery Farming, which is an indoor vertical farming startup, on how his company aims to solve this particular problem.
A big part of what we're doing at Bowery is restoring that level of confidence and trust and transparency in the food that we're growing as well. I mean, we can hand you a package of our product and show you absolutely everything that's happened from the moment we planted that seed all the way until it's ready to be harvested.
Is this organic? Can it be classified as organic?
So indoor farming can be organic. Really, it's not something we focused on at Bowery, and not because it's an unattainable goal, but rather because we really, for us, are focused on democratizing access to high quality fresh food. And without a question, organic was a very positive step forward for farming. It is a much more sustainable practice compared to large-scale industrial farming. What's great about what we're doing at Bowery is it's actually the next step forward from organic. Because a lot of people don't realize, but even organic farming uses pesticides. They're organic certified pesticides, but they still are pesticides. And there's issues and challenges that can come growing outside, even in an organic farm, and a lot of those issues we're actually able to alleviate, so it's an even safer, even higher quality product.
So how does this produce get from here in your indoor farm to customers' shopping carts?
Via our big green truck.
Right, okay. But the genius here is how you shorten the delivery time, right?
That's exactly right. So I think what's interesting about what we're building at Bowery is people often say to me, oh, well, this is an amazing innovation around farming. And there's no question this is a very new way of farming, but it's actually more broadly an innovation on the fresh food supply chain. And it's really rethinking not only how you grow fresh food, but how fresh food is delivered to a point of sale or a point of consumption in a much more efficient and effective way. And so if you're getting food from traditional methods, your food is anywhere from a few weeks old to a few months old.
What's a few months old? What kind of food is a few months old?
People are pretty shocked by this stat, so I usually ask people how old they think your average apple is in the grocery store. How old does someone think an apple is?
4 months.
4 months, a month, 4 months?
Wow.
Depends the time of year.
10 to 12 months, sorry, 10 to 14 months. Yeah, and that is the supply chain, and I'm not knocking it in the sense that this allows us to have apples all year round, and we all like apples, and so it's nice to eat apples at any time of the year. But there is a better way to do this, and what we're able to do with indoor farming is rethink that supply chain. And so we're locating our farms right close to where the consumption is happening, and by relocating that point of production close to the consumption, it's about a day from when we harvest to when our product reaches the shelves. So it's a lot fresher, it's a lot more nutritious, it lasts a lot longer on a store shelf or in your refrigerator. So instead of taking things home and 2 days later throwing them out because half of it's gone bad, 2.5 weeks later, a Bowery package still is going to look good and taste good, and that's really important as well.
Yeah, that would make me suspicious automatically, because it doesn't seem right that would sit in your refrigerator for a couple of
And that's because
weeks,
you're used to getting food that by the time it reaches you is already a few weeks old.
So you mentioned that you grow, 100 different kinds of crops. Can you grow things that normally you wouldn't grow in the United States that, for instance, is only available in Asia, in the US, in your indoor farm?
Absolutely. So we can, and this is something people will get surprised by sometimes, you can actually grow anything indoors. Now, everything is not going to make economic sense, but you can grow anything hydroponically. I mean, for those that have been at Epcot Center, they have this really cool hydroponic exhibit when they have hydroponic pineapples and other things that are growing there. We focus right now commercially on leafy greens and herbs. We've grown over 100 some odd different varieties far outside of those categories as well. And when we look at the market, we see a substantial market that are really attractive candidates for indoor farming ultimately. We won't grow everything, but I also said to you the other day, technology has an interesting way of surprising us. So things that maybe today I don't think will grow, who knows? And then to your other question about growing interesting things, one of my favorite things that we grow is a wasabi arugula.
Ooh.
And I wish I'd brought some. I would have passed it around so everybody could try it. It's really fantastic. And it's actually an arugula plant, and wasabi is a root for those that didn't know. So it is an arugula plant, but it tastes exactly like wasabi.
Did you crossbreed it?
No, this is the first question. People say, oh wow, that must be a Franken plant. And it's actually a naturally occurring, naturally growing plant. It's just incredibly difficult to germinate and incredibly difficult to grow. And because we have this minute control of our environment and the conditions around our crops, we can grow wasabi arugula reliably and consistently year round.